What is up? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody out there. Woodward Bats here with a Christmas special appearance. Parent Scott here to get you all the information you need here on this Christmas day. We're going to cover the NBA and the NFL. Should be a fun day. Scott, Merry Christmas to you and the family, my man. How we doing?
Good. Merry Christmas to you and the family as well. Hey, we joked about getting all the shopping done. It always comes together in the end, Chris, and everybody's
Absolutely.
hugely happy. But you know what I'm looking forward to is stuffing this big fat belly of mine with some food here later. I've been smelling it all morning. It's been cooking. I'm ready to rock here. So let's dive into these games, and we got to pay for this Christmas, and that's right, Spencer. I will be boozing it up a little bit today as well with the when the family's coming over. Never can have as many funds. And who knows, Chris, there might be that family poker game. I don't know about your family, but sometimes we get a poker game breaking out. And then sometimes they can, nobody likes to lose to any of the family members. So sometimes there's some crap talking going on at the family Christmas poker. But always a good time. And looking forward to breaking down these games today.
Yeah, I mean, we always have a poker game, and it can get ugly. I remember years and years ago, we used to play. Have you ever played In Between?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure you have.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that game can get ugly, man. You start seeing the ace split, and then the third ace come, and you're paying double and triple the pot, and there's been checks written at some of the poker games from that game. So we've dialed it back a little bit. A little bit. We don't want anybody losing their rent money playing poker, but it can get pretty heated. But yeah, excited. Sounds like you got a day at home here. We're going to be hitting the road and visiting some family, couple spots to do. So we'll get to that eventually. But first off, wanted to make sure we stopped in here and got you guys the information for today. 5 NBA games on the slate, 2 NFL games as well, Scott. Normally the NBA kind of takes the center stage here on Christmas Day, but the NFL says, no, not so fast. We're putting 2 games on here as well. So should be some good games in the NFL. My Packers clearly playing, rocking my hat here. They are playing the Cleveland Browns, so excited for that game to kick off here in a few hours. So let's start with NBA, Scott. Again, it's tough to predict what's going on in the NBA. 5 games on the docket here. So we got Atlanta and the Knicks, New York, small 1-point favorites here, 218 on the total. We got Boston and my Milwaukee Bucks, Bucks 6.5-point favorites, 227.5. Brooklyn and the Lakers, another small spread. Lakers minus 1.5 here. Phoenix and Golden State, Suns minus 3.5. That's always a fun game. Always a nice back and forth here between those guys. Steph Curry, Chris Paul, and Dallas and Utah also on the slate. Utah sitting at minus 5. So we always get the premier teams in the NBA. So overall thoughts here on the day of NBA hoops. Again, this starts here at noon with Atlanta and the Knicks, 2:30 with the Bucks Celtics, 5 o'clock for that Golden State Phoenix game, sandwiched right in the middle. That one will be fun. 8 o'clock tip for Nets and Lakers, and the late tip again. Mavericks Jazz tipping off at 10:30 here locally. So thoughts on the games, thoughts on whatever we want to rap about here in the NBA. Always fun having some basketball on today while you're enjoying the Christmas festivities.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're going to get about 12 hours of straight basketball. NBA starts at noon. That last game's at 10:30. So obviously that's going to go well past midnight. But yeah, it's always fun on Christmas to be able to sit around. Sometimes, there's been some bowl games as usual, but adding the NFL into the mix today is definitely exciting. But, these NBA games here, this first game here, this Atlanta and Knicks game, I mean, you're just looking at it here. The Knicks are minus 1. You're thinking to yourself, Atlanta's has been hurt, dealing with a lot of the different COVID issues. So I think the Knicks here are actually in a pretty decent spot, minus the 1. And this over-under is up to 218. I know the Knicks are a team that we've been looking at the under here quite a bit and kind of chasing with with the Knicks here, especially at the beginning part of the season. But yeah, I don't know. That 218, Chris, also seems a little bit too high for me. But the Knicks are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 home games. So I think Atlanta here is in a decent spot. But I just think the Knicks here are going to be a team that's going to be pretty tough to beat at home. I like to take in these home teams on Christmas, but I'll have to see exactly who's going to be in this final lineup for Atlanta, like I mentioned, with all the issues they've had. But yeah, I think the under is interesting, and I think the Knicks are also interesting.
Yeah, I'm with you on the under here. I was a big proponent of the Knicks unders. They haven't been as productive as they were last year. It was almost free money taking Knicks unders. But these two teams both tend to play at an under. Knicks have gone under in 13 of their 20 games this season. Atlanta, over half of their games as well. You mentioned, injuries are always tough. In the NBA, it's tough. You're going to have to be paying attention throughout the day. Some people don't want to do that. If you want to spend your Christmas and not have to worry about news and injury reports, things like that, then NBA is probably not your slice of pie here today. I would just stick with the NFL because, unfortunately, it's a very news-driven league. We know COVID going crazy right now in the world, in the sports world as well. So, as we always say, things are going to change by the minute. But I tend to agree with you on this under, Scott, especially if some of these guys are going to continue to miss, the Trae Youngs, the Clint Capellas on the Atlanta side. So I'm on an underplay here as well. So what about the next game here in the NBA? My Bucks at home against Boston. We'll see if Giannis is back in that lineup. It's certainly indicated here on the spread. I mean, Bucks 6.5, 7, as high as 7.5 point favorites at some places here. So that would tend to say that they feel pretty good about Giannis being back in this lineup here. So Boston, been somewhat of a disappointment this season, but 500 record. How do you see this one playing out? I tend to go with my Bucks here, but you think Celtics keep this one close?
Yeah, I like your Bucks here too. I was just looking here at some of these trends. The actual last 29 games, the under has hit 20 times for home games for Milwaukee. So, if Giannis is going to continue to be out, I think that's another under here that I might be looking at. So that is interesting for me. We got 233.5 in some spots. So I think that's pretty high. And I think here, Chris, the under here is definitely interesting. I mean, 233.5, that is a really, really high number.
Yeah, these two teams just played about 2 weeks ago, and that one came in at 220 total. Milwaukee won 117 to 103, and that 61 points were scored in the fourth quarter, 58 in the third quarter. So an under makes sense, but those numbers also tell me there can be some high-scoring quarters in these games. So I'll likely stay away. I lean the under. I'm with you there, but I feel a little bit better about a play on the Bucks here. Again, the Boston Celtics been a disappointing team, just 12-16 this year against the spread. So Giannis is back in that lineup, feel a lot better. Even if he's not, I think Holiday, Middleton, and company good enough on their home court to defeat this Boston team by double digits here. So I will go with the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, let's get to the game of the day. 225-win teams here. Golden State 25-6. Phoenix 25-5. I mean, this has been a fantastic showdown between these two teams here, Scott. Thoughts on this game? I mean, this one, we're seeing Phoenix -3.5, -4 generally is what I'm seeing across the board here. Can Phoenix continue their run here against Steph Curry and company?
Yeah, this one here is definitely the premier matchup of the day. I mean, you're looking at these two teams in their against the spread records. Golden State's 19-10-2 against the spread, and Phoenix is 17-13. So obviously both these two teams, you already mentioned their records. Good teams win, great teams cover. Both of them are in that mode. But one thing I noticed with Golden State, Chris, 9 of their 31 games have gone over. 9. So is this another one here where they might play some tight defense? The under here for me, I think that's a theme of the day so far is the under. So I think I'd lean the under here in this game as well. So, but Golden State I think is a better team. I can't bet against Steph Curry. There's just certain guys that you hate to bet against because you just hate being on the other side of him. And Tom Brady's one, Curry's another. I just can't. I can't bet against Curry. I'd rather just leave it alone. So, but I'd lean the under in that game as well.
Well, maybe the Phoenix Suns and Chris Paul are the New Orleans Saints to Tom Brady, who we saw get shut down by that team multiple times. And I think Chris Paul is still a good enough defender. You're never going to completely stop Steph Curry. If you can limit him, that's the goal. Let some other guys beat you. Let Draymond Green shoot the ball. Let a Jordan Poole beat you. If you can slow down Steph enough, I think that is obviously the blueprint. Now, everybody doesn't have a Chris Paul on their team. That's the problem. And he's not the defender that he once was, but I still give him a lot of credit as one of the better defenders at the point guard position. So I think that's going to reign supreme here. Phoenix at home. I think they hold home court here. You know, talking about it like it's a playoff series. It certainly is. I mean, this is probably your Western Conference Finals preview. I like Phoenix here in this one. Both teams been phenomenal. I'm with you. Steph Curry's a generational talent. I mean, the guy is phenomenal, and maybe he does go out there and get you 40, 50 points in this one, but I'm going to back the Phoenix Suns here in this one, especially if I can get it under 4. If I can grab a 3.5, I'm going with Phoenix. So let's move to probably the other game of the day here. A lot of star power in this one. Potentially, we got Brooklyn and the Lakers. Anthony Davis likely going to miss once again. Sounds like he can miss multiple weeks here. James Harden expected to return here for Brooklyn. So, again, got a lot of big names in this game. Scott, how do you see this one playing out here today?
Yeah, glad Anthony Davis is out, in the DFS, like we've always mentioned. That guy is just so frustrating at times. It's like you're just waiting for him to be out. So I don't have to deal with that on this Christmas Day, thankfully. But, I'm going to just looking at this game here. I mean, both teams are actually just terrible against the spread. The Lakers are 12-20 so far this year against the spread, and Brooklyn is 13-17 against the spread. But, Chris, I think this game here, I think Brooklyn, I mean, they just have had a couple extra days off because they've been dealing, had some COVID issues, cancel a couple of their games there so recently. So I think Brooklyn here is going to be in a pretty good spot. I don't know if Kyrie's going to get out there or not today. But, I think I would just roll with Brooklyn here. Another team that I hate betting on is the Lakers. I can't stand rooting for LeBron. I can't stand rooting for the Lakers. I think it goes back to my Piston days, Chris, with all the battles we had with them. But the Lakers are just a team that I just don't like to root for. But so I'll be rooting for Brooklyn in this game.
I'm with you on Brooklyn. I think the loss of Anthony Davis can't be understated. And sure, you still have LeBron, you still have Russell Westbrook, but then you're counting on, some fringe guys. We'll see how many bodies Brooklyn's going to have. I know that's the worry as well. What is their depth going to look like here? But I think Brooklyn wins this game. So for it to only be one, it feels like the Lakers are getting a little bit of a public sentiment here. I think this one should be closer to Brooklyn, -2.5, -3. So, yeah, it's only a point or two, but I think the line's a little bit off. I am going to back the Brooklyn Nets here as well. So nightcap here in the NBA, and anyone staying up for this one, Scott. I mean, you're talking about filling that belly with food and drinks and poker and NFL, and I mean, you're a brave soul here, right there, exactly. So that's what you will look like trying to watch this Dallas-Utah game, which should be a good game. We'll see if Luka's able to return. Obviously makes it a better game, but if anyone can wade this one out till 1 a.m. here on the East Coast, I'm giving you credit. I'm telling you right now, it ain't happening. If I catch half of this game, I'll be happy here. But, Scott, we got Utah at home as a favorite, obviously. Again, still question marks if Luka can return here or not. I think that's a big domino, but I think Utah probably handles this one pretty easily personally.
Yeah, I like Utah on this spot too. You're just looking at Utah. They've been struggling a little bit at home though here recently. They're 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 home games. But with Dallas and as many pieces as they're missing here recently, I think it's just a tough sledding here for Dallas. And I do like Utah. And yes, Chris, I highly doubt that I will be up either watching this game. I think I'll probably have too many Modelo's and maybe some of them Christmas cheer and all that other stuff that might come around. The family members like to throw some shots in your face once in a while too. So, they catch up to you pretty quick, especially when you're just sitting around and you have a couple of those apple crowns or peach crown shots. You'll know it really quick when you stand up and you're thinking, "Woo, what is I doing here at this poker game here? They're trying to get me drunk. Take my money, Chris." But these NBA games always fun on Christmas. But as we mentioned, we get some NFL too, so it's even better. I'm glad I got multiple TVs so I can watch all the action today. But, looking forward to some NFL, that is for sure.
Well, let's get into it. That'll do it for NBA. So, again, it's just pay attention to the news, to the injury reports. We tried to give you the best information that we could to get you a head start on the NBA here for today. But unfortunately, things are going to change. You're going to get last-minute news, scratches, guys may be returning. So if you don't like news, you don't want to pay attention, like I said earlier, just focus on the NFL. At least you get a little bit more of a heads up in the NFL, getting those injury reports. NBA, it can happen. Sometimes it happens after the game starts, Scott, or, the slates lock, and then they say, this guy's out, that guy's out. So just be ready to move if you're playing DFS NBA and ready to pounce on your bets when that news hits. So let's go to the NFL here. Let's turn our attention there. Kicks off at 4:30 here on Fox. We got Cleveland headed to Lambeau to take on my Packers here. Green Bay sitting at 7.5 for the most part. Total right around 46 here. So I'll turn this over to you. I got some pretty strong feelings on this game here. Not going to be a homer here, but how do you think this one plays out? As far as injuries, sounds like Baker Mayfield back in the lineup today for the Cleveland Browns. Jarvis Landry also expected to return. So starting to get healthy here, needing a win pretty badly are the Cleveland Browns. Can they do it here this week in Lambeau?
Yeah, I just think the Browns are just too beat up. COVID's got to them a little bit here. Obviously, without their two good running backs here, I don't think they're good enough at this point to go into Lambeau and win. Green Bay's 6-0 at home. They're 11-3 against the spread, Chris, and that's 7.5. I think the Packers win by 10. So I am not afraid of that 7.5. Obviously, with that little extra hook there on that 7 does come into play and make a difference. But I just think here, I don't think the Browns have an answer for Adams, and I don't think they have an answer for Rodgers. So with that being said, especially on the road here, going into Green Bay, I think the Packers are just going to roll them here. So should be a pretty happy day for you over in your household, especially with all the family, all your Green Bay family members, all your Packers over there. But for me, I think they're in a pretty good spot today.
So it's the problem is, love my team, but I'm the only guy. It's Lions households that I'm invading here whenever I go. And my wife's family is all Lions fans, of course. I'm the outsider. So there are no other cheeseheads, Scott. The cheese stands alone, as they like to say, and that'll certainly be me here in the spot against Cleveland. But you brought up some of the trends. Green Bay, very good against the number. I've been very good at home against the spread as well. And in Cleveland, it's been a struggle against the spread. So as far as that goes, the trends point me to Green Bay. The defense playing well. Baker Mayfield has been out of sorts. I don't see him coming in to this environment here on Christmas Day. Yeah, he's got some of his weapons back. I just don't see him coming in and turning the ship around here. This Green Bay team has their eyes set on that number 1 seed. They know the importance of it. You get a bye. Things have to come through Lambeau Field. It doesn't always work out in your favor, as we saw last season when Tampa Bay and Tom Brady came in and won that game in Lambeau. But I think Green Bay, just the better team here overall. So, again, 8-2 over their last 10 against the number at home. So the home field advantage is going to be proved to be too much here. I like Green Bay as high as -8, 8.5 if it tends to rise throughout the day. If I can get it at a 7, I'm jumping. 7.5, 8, I like it there as well. So as far as DFS plays here, anything you're liking? I know you mentioned Davante Adams. He's certainly a viable option here with Aaron Rodgers for sure. I don't mind Alan Lazard, a guy that kind of busted last week. As a pivot off of some of these cheaper value plays people are going to go to. So, and Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, that one's tough. I think they could both end up getting there. I probably prefer Dillon just because he's a little bit cheaper right now, and they love to go to him around the goal line. Cleveland side, it's not much to like there. Jarvis Landry doesn't have much of a ceiling. Nick Chubb, I think Green Bay is going to make it a concerted effort to slow him down. Dearness Johnson in that Kareem Hunt role, is there enough upside there? So, mostly Packers here for me, but the Browns likely very under-owned on this 2-game slate.
Yeah, one thing I did notice, the Browns have not allowed more than 1 touchdown pass in their last 7 games. So something's going to have to give here because Aaron Rodgers is throwing 3 and 4 touchdowns every week. So I think that is interesting. That Browns defense is a little bit more improved. But, Chris, I think here you might get a game where, this might be – so I think Dillon and Jones are both in play here today. I think I actually like Dillon to score a touchdown in this game, but with MVS back, I think that did open up a little bit for Aaron Rodgers in that offense. So, like I said, I think the Packers are going to roll them here pretty pretty good. I just think the strength here for the Browns is obviously that running game of theirs, but I don't think that they're going to be able to run here on the Packers. The Packers are in the top 10 of for giving up points here. They're very stingy against the running back. They're actually eighth in the NFL in giving up running back points. But Chris, I think if anything, I don't mind the tight ends here today for Cleveland. Green Bay is 19th, bottom third of the league against the tight end. Cleveland is top 7 here in tight end scoring points. So I don't mind that at all. If you want to throw in like a Hooper or some Njoku or somebody like that, I think that is a play you could look at. But as far as DFS, I mean, I think this is another game here, Chris, where you could look at possibly like some of these kickers, or maybe a Mercedes Lewis is a cheap guy you could throw in for your teams. But yeah, I think the Packers are going to roll the Browns though.
All right, let's go to the nightcap here. Indianapolis in Arizona, certainly licking their wounds after a tough loss here in Detroit. We have Arizona, looks like -1 at most places. I'm seeing some 1.5, some 2s. So depending on what side you're on, shop around that half a point. That point can make all the difference in the world. Total mostly sitting between 48.5 and 50. So a little bit of a spread there as well. But two teams kind of riding in opposite directions here, Scott. Arizona still very much in contention for that top seed in the NFC. Obviously a big blow last week. So do they right the ship here? The Colts behind Jonathan Taylor, it's been impressive. This guy scores touchdowns every single week. I mean, I think it's 11 straight or something insane. So which one is going to get it going here? Does Indianapolis continue its roll, or does Arizona bounce back here at home? What do you got here? Cardinals, Colts.
Yeah, talk about two teams on the other end of the spectrum. I mean, like you mentioned, the Colts just beat New England, a great game. I mean, that was a game they had to be looking forward to. And then obviously Arizona just got absolutely stomped by the lowly Lions, our lowly Lions. So, I mean, but Chris, if you look at Arizona, I mean, they have to win this game if they want to continue to stay in this hunt for these playoffs. Because when you look at their last three, I mean, their last 3 games, including this Colt game, they have the Colts, Dallas, and Seattle. I think that is pretty tough for Arizona. There's no cupcakes on there, so I got to believe that they got to be believing here that they got to win this game, or they're going to be in trouble. So, and Arizona's 3-3 at home so far this year. Both teams are 9-5 against the spread. But I mean, Kyler Murray's got to get it going here. If he doesn't, I mean, these guys could potentially fall all the way down to the bottom of the playoffs, or they may not even make it. So they can't go. They don't want to go into the playoffs on a losing streak here. But the over is, a lot of the trends are leaning toward the over in this spot. But Chris, I just can't believe. I'm just not going to believe that Arizona is going to lose this game. I think they got to focus here. They got to get it together. So I think you're going to see a determined Arizona team today.
I'm on the other side of this one. I think the Colts are going to continue to play well here. We know James Conner questionable, so they may be down a running back. We know DeAndre Hopkins is out, so sure, Christian Kirk was good. Rondale Moore is also going to be a game-time decision for tonight. So they're just missing so many pieces here, and I think this loss to the Lions is going to do more damage, whether it's psychologically, physically. I think you're going to see the hangover here rather than them bouncing back. I think they're going to get punched in the mouth here again by this Colts team. This offensive line is flat out dominant. Jonathan Taylor is going to be able to assert his will here. So I think the Colts win this game. So I like the points. I like the money line here. I think Taylor, the premier spend on the slate over a guy like Devontae Adams. I'm going with the Colts in this one. So we're on opposite side here, but should be a good game regardless here. Two very good teams. So this one, I'll stay up. This is going to be I need to stay up through the conclusion of this game. We'll see how far that takes me in that Dallas-Utah basketball game, but this one certainly should be good. Looking forward to 2 very good games here on an NFL Sunday. So, Scott, we can't leave the people hanging here on Christmas Day. We got to give them some best bets. Win some of that money back. Sure, a lot of you guys have spent and gals have spent a lot of money on Christmas, presents, food, booze, whatever it may be. We got to start recouping some of that. Let's start that process right now, Scott. Let's give the people some winners. Best bets here for Christmas Day. What do we got, buddy?
First one I'm rolling with, I am going to take I'm going to take your Packers here, Chris, minus the 7.5, 8 in some spots, as we mentioned. I just think they are like you mentioned, they want to keep that number 1 seed here, and I do not think Cleveland is going to get in their way. And then a couple of the NBA, Chris, is that couple of the NBA picks that I like here, that Knicks over under 218. I'm going to roll with the under in that one. Hate to probably steal. That's probably one you have there. I know we've been after those unders with the Knicks, so I'm going to roll with the under in the Knicks. And then I think I'm with you here on Phoenix. I think Phoenix at home here against Steph Curry. I hate betting against Steph Curry, but I do think Phoenix is in a pretty good spot. But I would lay caution on that one, but I do like Phoenix in that spot.
I got 2 in the NBA, 2 in the NFL, so we're going to echo each other in a few of these here. I'm also on Phoenix, so 2 for 2 on that one. I think they take care of business here at home. I like the Brooklyn Nets to go in and win that game in LA, so I'll go money line on that one. Give me the Nets to win that game. NFL, I'm with Green Bay as well. Not a homer pick, I hope. The numbers say Green Bay. The eye test says Green Bay. I just don't know that Cleveland is good enough here with Baker Mayfield to stay competitive in this one. So I think Green Bay wins that one by double digits. And I'm also going to go the Colts here. I wanted to go on that total, but it seems about right. I think the Colts go in and win this game. So, again, if you can grab a good money line there, grab it. If not, grab the point and a half, 2 points, whatever it may be, with the Indianapolis Colts. So that will do it here for our Christmas holiday special here at Woodward Bets. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Wanted to get you the information here on this holiday. A lot of sports going on. So, Scott, I know you got some final thoughts for the people here. Let it fly, baby. What do we got?
Man, I was watching all them Christmas presents getting opened up, Chris. You know what I was thinking about? The money just flying right out the door there, buddy. It's all about the money. So, but anyway, Merry Christmas to everybody. We appreciate everybody watching. We're going to come back strong next year. We're going to hopefully add some things here to the Woodward Bet Show as we grow and get bigger. But thank you to everybody for watching us, and have a Merry Christmas and a safe Christmas. And we definitely will be back on Sunday. And Chris, I think we got a special guest. I think Freddie the Pizza Man is going to join us on Sunday for us to break it down. So make sure you guys check out that. We're really excited to get Freddie in here and see what he has to say about some NFL games. So, but again, Chris, Merry Christmas to all your family and everybody else. And we will be back as always.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys for tuning in here on Christmas. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Got some good information, and most importantly, I got some winners here. That's what we're trying to do here at Woodward Bets. Like Scott said, come on back tomorrow morning. We'll cover the rest of the NFL. We'll recap everything we saw on today on Christmas. We'll go through the rest of the games here on the main slate with Freddie, the Pizza Man. Excited for that. So again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you guys, each and every one of you for listening, to your families as well. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the time. I know COVID is going crazy right now. Enjoy every minute you get with your family and friends. So for Scott, for our boy Spencer behind the glass, I am Beer. We are Woodward Bets. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Best of luck with your bets and enjoy the games. And we'll catch you tomorrow morning.